everybody. My name is Dwayne Massey, and welcome back to my YouTube channel and my YouTube video entitled The History of Sports Psychology. Lecture material that go along with this video can be found on my website, www.masseyinstitute.com. If you want to stop this video at this point and download these materials, please do so. Go to the website, select the lecture material tab, select the title of this video, and print out the associated material. You can then follow along on it as the video progresses. You may restart the video when you are ready to do so. Let's go ahead and get started. Today, I do want to hit on some of the highlights in the history of sports psychology. Those who do not understand the mistakes of the past are doomed to repeat them. I don't know what that particularly has to do with our discussion today, but it is a great quote. However, it is important to understand where you have been as a discipline and to pay an homage to those who have come before you. The roots of sports psychology practically go back to the beginning of the field of psychology itself. In 1897, Norman Triplett conducted the first experiment in sports psychology. He studied whether cyclists ride faster alone or in groups. Not surprisingly, Triplett found that cyclists rode faster in groups. Numerous studies over the years with different athletes in racing-type sports have supported these findings. Coleman Griffith was active in the field from 1921 to 1938. He was the first American to donate a significant portion of his career to the field of sports psychology. Consequently, he is often referred to as the father of American sports psychology. Griffith developed the first laboratory in sports psychology at the University of Illinois, and he wrote two classic books, The Psychology of Coaching and The Psychology of Athletics. These books focus on such issues as developing positive values and traits in athletes, managing fear, motivation, dealing with problem athletes, and discussing issues in a real-world practical way. I actually utilized the psychology of coaching in the writing of my dissertation in the pursuit of my doctorate degree. Griffith published 25 research articles, and he developed psychological profiles of legendary athletes like Dizzy Dean. Griffith also corresponded with Knute Rockne, the legendary football coach at Notre Dame, who we have referenced several times over the course of these videos. Franklin Henry was a college professor at the University of California, Berkeley. He was largely responsible for the field's scientific development. In 1938, Dr. Henry assumed his position at Berkeley, and he subsequently established a graduate program in the psychology of physical activity. Franklin trained many university professors. His scientific investigations and those of the college professors he trained helped lay the foundation of the fields of sports psychology and kinesiology as we know them today. Dorothy Hazelton Yates was one of the first women in the United States to both practice sports psychology and conduct applied research. Yates was active in and around World War II. In an era when academic and professional opportunities for women were limited, Dr. Yates was doing impressive, excellent, and groundbreaking work. She taught at both Stanford and San Jose State College. Yates also had a private practice in psychology, and she wrote 2 books and a research article. Dr. Yates developed mental training interventions for both boxers and aviators, and developed a college course based on these interventions. In the 1960s, sports psychology first became recognized as a separate discipline from motor learning. Applied sports psychologists consultants began working with athletes and sports teams. Applied sports psychology is the branch of the discipline specializing in applying psychological techniques to sports. Bruce Oglesby is often referred to as the father of applied sports psychology. Again, not to be confused with Coleman Griffith, who was the father of American sports psychology. In 1966, Oglesby and Thomas Turco published the book Problem Athletes and How to Handle Them. In In 1980, the U.S. Olympic Committee developed the Sports Psychology Advisory Board. In 1984, American television coverage of the Summer Olympics emphasized the influence of sports psychology in preparing U.S. athletes for the Games. In 1985, the U.S. Olympic Committee hired its first full-time sports psychologist. In 1986, the Association for Applied Sports Psychology was established. And in 1987, the American Psychological Association Division 47 was established. Since the turn of this century, significant emphasis has been placed on the best ways of preparing and educating sports psychology students. The American Psychological Association Division 47 has focused on sports psychology as a specialized competency area. Exercise psychology has flourished, especially in university environments. Strong, diverse, and sustained research programs in sports psychology are evident around the world. And there continues to be an increased interest in applied sports psychology. A more complete history of the major milestones and eras involved in the discipline of sports psychology can be found on my website. This wraps up our discussion today on the history of sports psychology. In conclusion, I hope something we said today was useful and had some relevance to you. Be on the lookout for my next video, which I hope to post in the relatively near future. Again, be sure to check out my webpage, www.masseyinstitute.com. Additional information about sports psychology and the topics discussed can be found there. Also, if you like what you see today, be sure to subscribe to this channel. And be sure to leave comments, as I'm interested in what you think of these efforts. And as always, thank you so much for watching today.